Okay guys, as promised, I was going to do some of the problems left over from today's worksheets. Let's get started. So, to solve this, remember, whenever they give you something complicated like that, try to break it down and simplify it. For example, I could take negative 12 divided by 3 plus square root 3 divided by the 3. Basically, I use distributive property with division. So this is what we have now. Okay. And negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. So when I add 4 to both sides, I get rid of the negative 4 there and there. And now I'm left with just negative 2/3 sine of theta equal to square root of 3 over 3. Now what? Well, hopefully you know your fractions well enough that to get rid of this negative 2/3, I'm going to do the reciprocal, which is negative 3/2. And I'm going to do it on both sides. And hopefully you see what happens here. Negative times a negative is a positive. 3 over 3 is 1. 2 over 2 is 1. So only thing I'm left with is sine of theta equal to, over here, I do have a negative, and the 3's do cancel out. 3 over 3 is 1. But I have a negative square root 3 over 2. Now what? Well, you have a unit circle that's completed, right? And let's just use that. If the sine of theta is negative square root 3 over 2, first of all, sine, remember, is your y coordinate, so we could read this directly off the table. Let's go to the table here, and I'm going to just scroll this around a little bit. But where is sine negative? Remember, sine is y. Y is negative when I'm in the third or fourth quadrant. And as you can see, here is where y is negative square root 3 over 2. So remember 240. That's where y is negative square root 3 over 2, right? So remember that before I move this thing around. And then when we go in the fourth quadrant, we know that right here, y, or sine, is negative square root 3 over 2 at 300 degrees. So our answer is going to be 240 and 300 degrees. Oh, went too far. So theta here is going to equal 240 degrees and 300 degrees. All right. Pause the video if you need to. Maybe rewind and watch this again. All right. Let's go on to the next one. This one here should be a little bit easier. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. 3 cosine theta now equals negative 3. 3 minus 6 is negative 3. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So now cosine theta equals negative 1. So where is cosine negative 1? Now remember, cosine is our x. So when is x on the unit circle negative 1? Actually, at only one spot, right? Let's take a look at our unit circle here. Where is x negative 1? X is negative 1 only at one place, right there. X is negative 1 at 180 degrees. Everyone agree? Negative 1 for x only happens right there. So theta only has one answer, 180 degrees. Most answers will have two answers, right? There'll be two answers because one in two different quadrants. All right, pause the video if you need to. All right, let's do one more. Again, let's clean this up right here. Let's break it down. Negative 4 divided by 4 plus square root 2 divided by 4. I distributed the divide 4. We got negative 1 minus 1/2 cosine theta, right? Now what? Well, this is really negative 1. So if I add 1 to both sides, it's gone. So if that's all gone, square root 2 over 4 is the only thing left, equal to negative 1/2 cosine of theta. Now guys, the way we get rid of this negative 1/2 is we're going to times by its reciprocal, which is negative 2, or negative 2 over 1. Right? Negative times negative is positive. 2 over 2 is 1. Notice I'm left with cosine theta equal to, over here, I have negative 2 square root of 2 over 4. Negative 2 square root of 2 over 4. And I'm going to simplify by dividing by 2. Right? So cosine theta is going to equal negative square root 2 over 2. Now, where is cosine theta negative square root 2 over 2? Remember, cosine is our x coordinate. Where is x negative? X is negative when we go to the left of the coordinate system, right? So we're going to go to the left. We're going to look in quadrants 2 and 3. And we're looking for negative square root 2 over 2. Well, isn't negative square root 2 over 2... Let me shrink it down so it actually shows up. Now we're doing it for x. There we go. Do you agree? Right here, x is negative square root 2 over 2. And down here, x is negative square root 2 over 2. So our answers are 135 and 225. So this problem, I know theta is at 135 degrees and at 225 degrees. Everyone agree? That's where x is negative square root 2 over 2. And guys, hopefully you're starting to understand it. Hopefully you're getting good at reading the unit circle. Remember, cosine is always x. Sine is always the y coordinate. In the next video, we'll do some tangents mixed up in there as well. See you around.